This is the first 200 watt light by Zhiyun, the Molus G200. So let's take a closer look at it. I'll share my first impression, then we'll do some couple of light tests and test the fan. Is it noisy or not? So make sure to watch till the end. As you can see, the Molus G200 comes with a carrying case. It has a nice handle. Only thing I wish it had like a strap for easier carrying. But overall, I think the package is really nice and durable. So, as you can see, actually the reflector is much bigger than everything else in the box. So the Molus G200 comes with a Bowens mount, which is pretty cool. So you can use it with all kinds of accessories. It's actually really small for like a 200 watt light. Now this is impressive. Magic. The way they managed to make this light so small is they have separated the controller part from the light itself. And basically the light consists of the cobe and the fan, which is pretty cool, I guess, but we'll see how it works in a bit. The cobe is protected with glass, which is cool, so any dust won't get into it. One thing design-wise, I would have liked that they kept the G lineup design as we had the G60, like white and black colors, and this is something new again. And then from some parts, it more is visually like a reference to the X100. Let's see if they return to the G60 design later on with some other fixtures. Everything's so secured. Right. Yep, here's the controller part. It's basically really straightforward. Just two buttons with knobs. And that's about it, and a big fan. So this will be really interesting to see if these fans can keep the light fixture cool while still not making too much sound. And of course, forbidden seasoning. The G200 has a standard stand mount, so it will work with all the standard light stands. Plus you can adjust the angle in 180 degrees, which is pretty cool. Though like in this position, you wouldn't be able to get it like this far with a softbox because it would get in the way. But like with a reflector or other accessories, it would be possible, and that's pretty cool. Actually, you can see like how big the reflector is compared to the light itself. And like in a moment, we will also compare the size of the G200 to Field World FL225B. One cool thing that they added is this rope that can be easily placed on the stand, so all the controls don't hang somewhere, or the power brick as it is for some lights. They made a different solution for the G60 before. So for the powering brick, it had like a bag, which was pretty all right. But this, I think, is more convenient. So for the power, they have this locking mechanism, which secures the cable in place into the unit, so it wouldn't be ripped out if you like pull the wire. And also we will need some power for the control box. Probably the wire could be a little bit longer. All right, time to power it. So it has a nice display to indicate the power and color temperature. And these two little dials, so you can change the brightness. This is actually pretty smooth. It's nice. And to change the color temperature. Another cool thing about the dial is that it works also as a button. And while pressing it, you can change the value preset from like 0% to 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. And then it goes back to 0. So in this way, you can get to the amount of output you need quite fast. The same thing is actually about the color temperature wheel as well. By pressing it, it will change to the preset value that just makes the change much faster. And here's the fun part about G200, which is a 200 watt light, that when you press these dials together, it goes into this boost mode, which is like 300 watts. So in theory, it's a 200 watt light, but you get like a 300 watt output when it goes to the max. Let me see if I can decrease it. Yeah, by decreasing the value, it changes the percentage, but it still stays in the max mode. So still like 50%, then could be like a 150%, like 150 watts. And then all the way to the 100, it's like 300 watts, which is like massive. I think our shot is blown out now. It's actually interesting. Now the light has been on for a while at 100%. And still, by standing next to it, I can hear other light fixtures being louder than the G200. And by other fixtures, I mean, there's like two Forza 60Bs and the Field World FL225B. But I don't think it actually could mess up any shoots. Like for example, if I would do talking head here with no additional post-production effects. This is me talking to the camera. Do you hear any noise? Well, do you hear the noise of the G200? Probably now you do. So it makes some sound, but I don't think it would bother me, especially like with this amount of brightness. Let's check if we do it like on some 50%. It's really quiet. The other lights are much more louder than this. Now that's pretty cool. Like that's a thing Zhiyun has done like in the past with these other lights they had before, is super low fan noise, and that's just amazing for the size of the light. And as I mentioned before, the Molus G200 consists basically of the cob itself and the fan. And since we're talking about the fan noise, the one thing what remains is to see how loud it gets on 300 watts. But we're gonna wait for a couple of minutes for the fixture to really heat up, so we would actually know how loud it gets. So now the Molus G200 has been going for a while on maximum like 300 watts. And now you can really start to hear the fan, and it probably could impact the sound quality while doing like an interview or something like that. But that's just like when you're standing really next to it. But you wouldn't have the person talking to the camera like standing next to 300 watts of light coming into their face. Like, I mean, now the light is bounced off and it still produces so much light. So this is how much sound it produces when I'm like standing this close with no extra post-production sound effects, the actual sound. Yeah. I think it's not bad. I think it's not bad at all. And if I step, oh yeah, and the cooler, it's like you barely can hear that. For the controller, yeah, it's super cool. It's super quiet. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And in terms of the heat, I would say that the fans are doing really good job, because you can feel like there is some heat produced, but it's like still cool enough to put like my hands around it. As for the controller, that's pretty cool. Here's a fun fact. Now when the light is on 5%, you can see that the fan is spinning, then it stops spinning, then it spins again. Plus, like, it can't be heard at all. So this is a nice feature, that the fan reacts to the heat and figures out how fast does it have to spin to cool the light down. So now we'll do a comparison between these 200 watt lights. This is the Molus G200, and this is the FieldWorld FL225B. And above me, I have the G60 that is on full power. So you can see like how much these lights produce light, and I'm still just a silhouette. Now to compare the output, we have turned all the other lights off. On this side, it's the FieldWorld FL225B, and on the right, it's the G200. You can see that for the G200, the light spill is more even. It's still concentrated more towards the center, but the round is bigger than the FL225Bs. Also, the color temperature, I think from the looks of it, it's more accurate for the G200. And this is when both of the lights are used at 100% of brightness. But the thing with the G200 is it can still go into the max mode. And if we change the color temperature to 5500, then you can notice that there is quite some difference from the output. And as we started to compare these two lights, there's a couple of things to add. First, well, you can see the size difference, how much smaller the Molus G200 is compared to the FieldWorld FL225B. One thing that G200 lacks is the practical effects. And that's been like an issue, I think, for all of the Zhiyun lights so far. And but I'm still not giving up hope that they could actually add it in a firmware update. Another thing that these lights have in common is they can be controlled via Bluetooth when using their apps respectively. We haven't talked about the price yet. So Molus G200 comes in for $379, which is pretty similar price to all the other 200 lights out there. The other ones are around $350, and so is this FieldWorld light. So you can see that the difference between the Molus G200 and other 200 watt lights is around like 20 to 30 bucks. And now you can actually compare and see all the different things that makes G200 special, and see if the price is the priority here when you make the decision. If you want to check out these lights by yourself, then the links are in the description. And if you want to know more about other Zhiyun lights, then watch these videos next. I will see you in the next one. Ciao.